It's lights out, Esther.
But that means Shinji Mikami can't find the Switch.
It's Monday the 25th of September and this is Screenplay Patch Notes.
I'm Nick.
And I'm Steph. Get ready because we're going to hit you with some news.
First up, and British developer The Chinese Room have confirmed major layoffs. The studio who brought us games like Dear Esther, Amnesia, A Machine for Pigs, and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture will be, quote, going dark after letting go of the development team. Studio founder Dan Pinchbeck suffered a non-life-threatening health issue in June, and this is what gave him time to reassess the company's position. So his reasons are, along with the illness, it's like financial constraints and sort of the pressures of game deadlines and stuff is forcing this.
This sucks. They make such unique games that I feel like nobody else is really making right now. So it's sad to think that, you know, the situation has gotten to the point where they can't make games anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't really a fan of Dear Esther, but I really loved Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. I thought that was such a cool, slow, a game that has the courage to be slow, I think is something that we don't see enough of. Yeah, it is sad.
And the Amnesia sequel was awesome. They haven't said that it's the end of the Chinese Room though, they're just all taking a significant pause while they figure out what to do next.
Enormous sabbatical. Well, I did say they need, you know, games need the courage to take it slow, so they're taking it very slow indeed.
Moving on, and the Nintendo Switch is already becoming a scarce commodity as sales continue to be stronger than expected for the new console. Even Shinji Mikami has stated that he hasn't been able to purchase the console due to its scarcity. It may seem like poor judgment on Nintendo's part, but Nintendo America President Reggie Fils-Aimé has said that they dramatically over-delivered at launch for the projected sales. So Nintendo made way more Switches than what sales said they would need to, and it's still selling out.
Yeah.
I mean, this has got to be good news after the kind of lackluster performance of the Wii U.
Yeah, I think Wii U ended up, like in February, the last number that I saw was about 13.5 million units sold, which isn't great. But no, this is really good news for the Switch. I don't buy into this Shinji Mikami bullshit, I can't buy a Switch. If you want one, they will send you one.
Well, yeah, I think he just means that I'm sure he could get sent one, but he probably just walked into a shop and then like there weren't any and he was like, this is an outrage.
He just flipped a table. It is nice to hear though that Nintendo are finally overproducing consoles after the whole NES, SNES debacle. We've got enough Switches.
And I'm happy for them and their success because they make great games. They should be on track to deliver 10 million units by the end of the financial year though, which is a big number. So I think, you know, come Christmas, we should see more of them out there on the shelves.
Yeah, cool. And staying with Nintendo, Super Mario Run is getting an update, and an update for all of you, Super Mario Run is still a thing. The Mario Endless Runner is set to get a new mode, a new world, and a new character. You can unlock Princess Daisy by completing the new Frenetic mode, which mashes together 10 snippets of different levels. Every time you start a new run, you will get new snippets from different levels, and then once you've leveled up enough, you get yourself a Daisy. It's nice, I guess, they're continuing to maintain this because it has been a while since it's come out, and I feel like anecdotally it hasn't really been in the public consciousness.
Yeah.
Like we're not really talking about Super Mario Run that much.
No, but I think there's like, I love that there's still a place for endless runners.
Yeah, it's a good genre. It works.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of this new frenetic thing because it's basically going, because I played a bit of it and then I sort of just fell off, whereas this is like, it can give you a taste of all the different levels in the game in one sort of like mode. I think that's a cool thing for a runner to do. And they're also introducing a new world, so you'll get new levels and stuff there.
Plus I just think Daisy's so much better than Peach.
Really? 3 reasons why.
Okay, she seems like sassier and more independent.
Yep.
She doesn't get kidnapped as often.
Not nearly as much.
And I just think she's got a cooler attitude about life.
And I think she has a nicer dress. She's got the nice yellow on. I think it's better than Peach's dress. I'm just gonna put it out there. Plus she's the underdog. We all want the underdog to win.
You meant she has a nice address, and I was like, you know where she lives?
Well, it's in another castle.
Okay. And finally, this isn't really a news story, but Tokyo Game Show happened over the weekend and I haven't really seen much of it yet. But what I have seen is this video of a guy in a giant round cat suit just rocking out on the drums. And now I feel like I don't need to see anything more from Tokyo Game Show. I feel like that video just sums up Japan's biggest video game convention.
And that was Screenplay's coverage of Tokyo Game Show. Up next, discussion time. Hit it.
Discussion time, discussion time, discussion time, discussion time, discussion time, discussion time.
Looking off screen at Will, who's terrified about making those titles.
No, because he just puts the little hole in the thing and then I'm like, I appear in it.
No, because he writes out all the words you're saying.
Does he?
And he's still writing these words.
I'm pretty sure I just said discussion time like over and over. So like he could just copy and paste that.
I know, but technically we still haven't ended the title sequence, so this is the end.
Well, whose fault is that?
Now. All right, up for discussion. This weekend there's been a lot of talk about PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds and Fortnite and who's ripping who off and who owns entire game genres and lots of drama. So to just quickly catch you up, we all know PUBG came out, massive success. Fortnite have come out and said that they're adding a battle royale mode to their game. So it's a, big map, 100 players, last man standing situation. And then over the weekend, the pub developers came out and said, oh, we're a little uncomfortable with how similar this seems to be to the game and how, we were excited about new people coming into the space, but this seems like a direct ripoff.
Yeah, so a lot of people have called them out and been like, you don't own the battle royale, game genre, so you can't be getting uppity about other people creating games that are similar to yours. I think their issue is that, so Bluehole use Unreal 4 engine.
Yep. Epic
Games, who made Fortnite, created that engine. So in order for Bluehole to use it, they had to pay them significant royalties.
Yeah.
So they had this kind of working relationship that was all cool, and then Epic Games came out and said, we've got a game mode in Fortnite that's pretty much similar to PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds. So I think Bluehole's issue were like, hang on, we had this cool working relationship, and now you've used the name of our game to promote your game mode that is pretty much the same thing.
Yeah, and it's interesting because that's not, they came out with a second statement over the weekend and sort of clarified that position, because the first one didn't really put that across. They mentioned that they were unhappy with Epic, but it felt way more like they didn't like the idea that Fortnite
existed.
This mode existed. But it is an interesting spot to be put in because, like you said, I don't think that you can really own a game genre like that. There's a Japanese film called Battle Royale. That's who owns the Battle Royale name, and then it's the Hunger Games, and then it's Pub, and then there's H1Z1 in there, and DayZ's doing its own thing, and there's all sorts of stuff. But it is interesting that Epic, you said that they had to pay a significant royalty fee. They continue to pay that. Every time they sell a copy, they get a percentage of that. So it's in Epic's interest for Pub to be as successful as possible because they get money from there, and for Fortnite to be successful. And yeah, to piggyback using the success of one of your partners or your products to pimp your other one is sort of an interesting moral ground that we find ourselves on.
Yeah, and then on the other hand, I think, well, if they didn't use Battlegrounds as an example, it's kind of like, well, we have this mode in our game that's kind of a 100-player deathmatch in like an 8x8 kilometer map.
Yeah.
Where the map gets smaller.
Yeah.
And
this is all sounding very familiar.
Yeah, you feel like call a spade, right?
Yeah, except for the fact that, in the, Brendan Green did, who's the sort of head lead on Pub, came out and did an AMA last week, and one of the questions that he answered, he said that, he hopes to see other devs do their own version of this, because obviously they're going to because it's so popular, but he hopes they can put their own spin on it. There's a lot in Fortnite's version that's the same. The 100 people, you fly in on a bus instead of a plane, and you parachute in with a glider or whatever. But the big difference is that it has crafting, and that crafting, like, I feel like that's a massive difference.
It's a
that
huge
you can make
difference.
your own structures and your own fortifications, and there's traps and shit.
It's kind of like, it reminds me then of Battlegrounds crossed with something like Reign of Kings, where you're trying to kind of set traps for people.
Yeah.
So I think the idea with Fortnite is that you can build structures and then make them quite difficult for people to get into, and all weapon drops and stuff glow quite significantly in the game, so you can put weapon drops outside the door.
Teasing breadcrumb.
And people will see them and be like, ooh!
Yeah.
And then...
Which does change up the way
that's
played.
me, I'm the person who's like, ooh!
Yeah, and I'm the pal. But yeah, I guess that ultimately the better move for Epic would have been to, I mean, legally, I don't think they need to consult with them, but to just give them a heads up that this is happening. I don't know. It's a bit of a weird area.
It's not a legal issue, but I think, like, it would have been the sportsman-like thing to do.
Yeah, totally, yeah. What do you guys think about this? Do you think that Fortnite are in the right here? Does the Battle Royale mode sound interesting to you? Or should Epic have, given a heads up to Pub to let them know what they're doing? It's a thorny issue, and only the screenmates can solve it.
But enough of that. Here's what you can play this week. It's Monday the 25th of September, and here's what you can soon play. Things kick off this week with the second episode of Telltale's Batman: The Enemy Within. Click your way through Gotham's latest crisis and solve the Riddler's puzzles, or else he'll laugh at you or something. Why is the Riddler scary again? The Western release of Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony drops this week, but don't be fooled into thinking you'll understand this puzzling murder sim just because it's in your native language. Halo Wars 2 gets an expansion called Awakening the Nightmare, which sounds like it's gonna be a pleasant experience. The DLC follows the villainous Banished as they campaign for survival against an unleashed flood. Classic Halo. What year is it? Fallout 4 Game of the Year edition is dropping because Bethesda would still like some of your money, please. The DLC bundles in all of the game's DLC and updates and improvements that have dropped since its initial launch. If you're desperately hanging out for the next COD, well, maybe get your World War II fix from Raid World War II. It's a 4-player cooperative shooter which looks like Payday 2 with a 1940s skin. Plus, it has some actual 1940s skin wrapped around John Cleese, the game's FMV mission director. Hate the world? Transform it in Hob. This new action-adventure puzzle platformer thing is from the developers of the Torchlight series and looks beautiful and haunting. FIFA nuts out there who've pre-ordered the expensive Ronaldo edition of FIFA 18, you'll get into the action on the 26th. All you other schmucks who like paying a reasonable price for games will get your kicks on the 29th when the game officially launches. Back on the 27th, Ruiner is this week's reddest game. It's a brutal twin-stick shooter from the publishers at Devolver Digital. Total War Warhammer 2 unleashes a new campaign on the world on the 28th. It doesn't look like it's going to do much for people who aren't already into Creative Assembly's epic strategy series, but it does have lizards and funny hats. And for all you masochists out there like, "Aw, there's nothing stupidly punishing for me to get off on this week," well, Cuphead is out on the 30th. Judging by my hands-on experience, it's going to prop up the television industry for the next decade as people replace their TVs which somehow got a controller lodged in them. Weird, huh? Well, that's what you can soon play. What are your picks? Let us know in the comments. So many games coming out this week.
Killer week!
Oh, what's your pick? What's your pick?
I refuse to pick.
Really?
Well, I have 3 picks.
It's your job to pick.
Okay, can I have 3 picks?
Yeah.
And then I'll narrow it down to 1.
Can they be on a podium of first, second, and third?
Danganronpa.
I knew it.
Number 1. Come on. We gotta get weird. We gotta get sexy.
So weird.
Number 2, FIFA 18.
Uh-huh.
And then number 3, Cuphead. I mean, like these are games, each one of these, in fact, you know what? Each one of these games will take me 100 hours to finish. Danganronpa's just too much story, FIFA's just 100 games of football, and Cuphead is me doing 100 hours on the first level. Exactly. Possibly even the tutorial topical. What about you?
I'm really excited about Hob. I think it looks gorgeous. You know, I love Torchlight and Torchlight 2.
Yep.
So I think that developer does really great things. And the only thing I'm a little bit worried about is just the platforming in it. I really hope that that's quite intuitive and platforms well, because otherwise that could be infuriating. But it looks like a really beautifully made game.
What a week! What are your picks? Let us know in the comments.
Now it's prize time! It's prize time!
God, you think she won? Oh, you did.
It's prize time! Now, on our Facebook 4Play live stream before the TV show last week, we asked you to identify 2 Easter eggs. 2!
That's right. And there were 3 prizes. They were the Asus Strix wireless gaming headset, an Asus Strix Evolved mouse, and a Republic of Gamers mousepad, thanks to the beautiful people at Evotech Custom Computers. So
you had to correctly identify both Easter eggs in order to win this epic prize. And the person who correctly identified it was Marshall TIPPLE.
What a name!
What a name!
What a name! TIPPLE figured out that Iron Man was missing in the background of Mars' segment, and then your necklace vanished for a segment, which is very eagle-eyed because even I didn't notice, and I was sitting right next to you. Don't forget the big prize this week for our big competition is still running. We've already given away 1 switch to Parallax Error, who switched up his luscious locks for a fresh fade, but we've got 2 more to give away thanks to St. George.
Yes, and you still have a chance to win. Let us know what you switched up. You can submit your entry on Twitter or Instagram, but you must post it along with the hashtag screenplayswitch. We'll be announcing 1 winner each week on Screenplay on Thursday nights until the competition closes on the 4th of October.
For more details, head to screenplay.7 and the St. George website for complete freedom accounts, and here is what is happening on Screenplay this week. Among the goodies is our vlog from the St. Ives Medieval Fair this weekend, and there's lots of lovely live stuff, including an early Twitch stream tomorrow. We're kicking off at 2 PM until 4 PM, so you're just gonna have to leave work early. I'm very sorry.
And on Screenplay, the TV show on Thursday night, we kick ball in FIFA 18, kick the bucket in Evil Within 2, and it kicked back in time as we go on a noble quest at the St. Ives Medieval Fair. So make sure you're there to check that out. That's this Thursday at 10 PM on 7 Mate.
You can follow Screenplay in all of these places to not miss a beat. Details are in the description below. And that is it for today's show. But as always, we've got one of your clips to play us out.
Yes. Jazzy J-Wolf got pipped by a rare Overwatch bug. So if you look closely, you can see a May ice wall is the catalyst for his demise.
Thanks for sending that clip in, Jazz Dog. If you've got a cool clip you want to share with your screenmates, then send it to us on Twitter using the hashtag ScreenPlayMyClip.
Yes, you can send it to the ScreenPLAY AU Twitter account. You can send it to @NickBoy or @HexSteph. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. You sing first and then I'll do my bit.
Are you gonna, can we harmonize?
Sure.
Goodbye.
I'm sick.
That was kind of cool.
Here's what I don't like about lizards in games.
What's that?
It's hard to make them look cool because they never look like anything other than lizards.
This lizard guy looks a little bit like, you know that Mario Brothers movie?
Luigi.
No.
The Mario Brothers movie?
The like,
Bob
yeah.
Hoskins?